witches, blessed be. This is WhiteRaven over here. Today is Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. Welcome to another Magic Monday. My name is WhiteRaven. I am super happy to have you here today. I have a super spell for you. I hope it reaches you at the right time. And again, this was not something that I was going to share with you today, but here it is. So there's always a reason for my spells to be published when they're published. Which is, have you ever been in that predicament in which you live in a quiet neighborhood, peaceful, no problems ever, and suddenly you get someone that is so disrupted and is creating such havoc in your neighborhood that is affecting a lot of people. Sometimes some of you guys have written to me about having a really evil landlord that is not only making your life miserable, but also the life of the people that live in the same complex as you. Sometimes you have a neighbor that has all the trash, all the noise. He's extremely rude, disrespectful, inconsiderate, the one that has the music until really late at night. Worst, which is, do you have a neighbor that perhaps is doing illegal businesses? Maybe a drug dealer, maybe somebody that you didn't have, but now you have, and he's definitely affecting your neighborhood. A lot of ugly people is coming to your neighborhood. A lot of very dubious individuals are walking by late at night. And what happened is that people like that brings worse people, right? And things escalate and they can affect a lot of stuff. They can bring crime to your neighborhood. They can bring even death to your neighborhood. You know, there's young kids perhaps growing in your neighborhood. You name it. There's always one neighbor up there. There's crazy neighbors. I have a friend that the neighbor is crazy, absolutely crazy, and he was punching everybody's tires in the street, and stealing everybody's trash cans in the street. You can find yourself in that predicament, which is, this spell is for you. It's going to be an easy spell. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you some alternatives to the things that we're going to be doing here today, just in case some of you guys have some type of issues. So if this is something that interests you, stick around, because hey, you never know where you may need it, and it's coming up right now. The spell today is to eradicate, eliminate, banish, and bind away somebody that is creating havoc in otherwise a very peaceful neighborhood. This spell is to be performed. Listen up, because then you always end up asking me in the comments on a Saturday night, preferable, in the waning of the moon, meaning when the moon is getting smaller. I understand that sometimes you got to do the hex, you got to do the spell, you got to do the reversal whenever it is that you're feeling it, and whenever you think you need to do it. But if you're looking for the phases of the moon, which is banishing, bindings, terminating, eliminating, is on the waning of the moon. That's when you're going to do it. That means when the moon is getting smaller. What are you going to need for this spell? Which is, you are going to need a puppet, a voodoo doll, how most people know it. But you're going to need a dolly on the liking of the person that you are banishing and binding from doing any more harm to your neighborhood. Very important. I already created a puppet today. This is my puppet. This is the front of the puppet. This is the back. His hands are bound. I have these little miniature handcuffs. I put some handcuffs on him. I'll tell you what he has in his head in a second. Another thing that you're going to need, which is very important, you're going to need commanding oil right here. Okay? Which is, you're going to have to go online or to your botanica or your local spiritual shop, because you are going to need devil's shoestrings. It's right here. And you're going to need 9 pieces of that, okay? Devil's shoestrings, 9 pieces. I don't have it in my website. Sorry about that. But you can go to your spiritual shop or you can go online. Amazon probably has devil's shoestrings. I usually get this in my local botanica and in my local spiritual shop. Which is, you are going to need red cord. The cord that I have is actually wool. You do not have to get wool because wool is a little bit harder to find. It's a little bit more expensive. If you're able to find wool, great. Otherwise, any cord will do. Make sure, try to make it natural, not like a plastic cord. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's on natural fibers. If you do not have red, you can also use black cord, which is you're going to need a box that can serve as a coffin for your puppet. And that box needs to be covered with mirrors. I have been trying to put this in the website because I have a few that I made myself, my little coffins, and they have the mirrors. Okay, so if you don't have a coffin with mirrors, you can create this if you find the coffins. Usually you find coffin boxes close to Halloween, this being painted, and you know, like I said, I make this for spells. I'm probably going to be putting these things in the website coming up soon. But you're going to need if you don't have this, just get a box, a regular box where you can fit your puppet, and make sure you cover it with mirrors, which is you are going to need a black candle. So there's many types of black candles that you can use. In my particular case, I am going to use a black tea light. But it's going to be up to you. If you want to repeat this spell like for 7 days, from Saturday to Saturday, you can do that if that's what you feel moved to do. So you can use a tea light every single day. You can use a candle like this one, a votive little candle. You can use a chime candle like this one. If you want to burn this for a long time, you can use abelón. I don't know how to say this one. It's a big one. It's from the Botanica. Or you can use and prepare a 7-day candle. This one is also from the Botanica. Again, I'm going to be using the tea light, and you'll see how I'm going to use it. Last witches, and listen up. And again, like I said, I'm going to give you some alternatives at the end of the video. Today, we are going to be working with the spirits of either soldiers or law enforcers like police, etc., etc. So it's very important, witches, that you get cemetery dirt from the tomb of a soldier or a police person or somebody that works for law enforcement. It's very important that you have that dirt. I have mine over here. Mine is soldier. I actually use a lot of soldier dirt from cemetery of soldiers. Now, this is what I have to tell you, which is I treat this with the utmost respect. So it's very important that if you are going to collect cemetery dirt from the tomb of a soldier or somebody that work in the law enforcement, do it with respect, which is make sure that you go to the tomb. If you know of somebody, you request permission to use the dirt from his tomb. Tell this person why you need his help and leave an offering. For the most part, I usually leave whiskey. I don't know what country you're watching me from, but I'm sure you know what type of alcohol or offerings leaves to your soldiers and any type of police or law enforcement personnel. Okay, just be very respectful when you're doing this. They're going to be assisting you. They're going to be helping you. So without further ado, let's get into the spell. Okay, witches, so the first thing that you are going to create is your doll. I'm going to put a picture over here of what I did, and how I started was I put brown paper in the table, and in the middle of the brown paper, I wrote down the description of the person. Who the person is. Like if in your particular case is your neighbor so-and-so that lives in this so-and-so address, and is the person with all the trash in the front yard that is so rude and mean, or the drug dealer that lives in so-and-so house, or the predator. You could have a predator in your neighborhood. The predator that lives in so-and-so address, whoever it is. I wrote that in the middle of the paper. And I'm going to put, like I said, I'm going to put pictures in here. After I did that, I put commanding oil because I am commanding this evildoer to leave, to get away. And I am commanding this evildoer not to do any more evil. As of right now, they're done. Once I did that, which is I put Spanish moss in the head. So that's what's inside here. I have the petition in here and I fill this with Spanish moss. Spanish moss is very typical when you are hexing someone. So that's what we're using over here. And as you can see, this doll was made with rubber bands. I put rubber bands, more rubber bands, and I just tie it up. And then I put the handcuffs in the back and a red cord. It's just rubber bands. Listen, witches, making a voodoo doll is not so complicated. I'm pretty sure you can just grab paper and roll it until you make a little doll. And this is all you need. It does not have to be elaborate. You know what's important, which is that this is linked to the individual that is doing all the evil deeds. You can make the most incredible voodoo doll, but if it's not linked to the target, might as well don't have anything at all. So we're going to prepare the voodoo doll. Once you prepare this voodoo doll, we are going to baptize him. We are going to give him a life. And how do you do that? You're going to talk to this doll and you are going to name him. Once you do that, you are going to blow on this doll or breathe on this doll 3 times. Let's do it together. Once we finish that, we're going to grab our devil shoestrings. Grab your cord as well, witches, because this is when we're going to start wrapping. Start wrapping him, witches. While you do this, witches, you need to be thinking about all those things that you are binding. Once you finish, do your knots. Witches, grab your coffin. Put this evil door here. Squish him in there. These mirrors are going to be reflecting back at him any type of evil that he may want to do ever again. Now you're going to grab, witches, your cemetery dirt. And we are going to put cemetery dirt all over him. And remember, witches, do this with respect, because over here, this is the representation of the law. And protectors, defenders, your protectors, the people that will defend you. I now going to grab my tea light, light it up. And this is the chant that I'm going to chant. Spirits of soldiers and protectors of the law, hear my call and heed my plea. By the power of the brave and just, I summon your strength to bind this soul. So and so, witches, this is when you name the person. You are bound and tied. From harming others, you cannot hide. Your evil deeds are now restrained. By the fallen heroes, you are now contained. Spirits of justice, guard and defend. This harmful path now comes to an end. As I will it, so would it be. Witches, leave your candle burning until it consumes all the way through. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is what I will do if I were you. I will do this, and I repeat this 7 times for 7 nights from Saturday to Saturday. Every night, I'll repeat it again, close it. Following night, put another tea light, repeat the chant again. And this is another thing that I suggest. If you have a balcony, if you have a deck, if you have a backyard, and if you can do this, looking towards the direction where this evil neighbor lives, that's what I will do. If this is not possible to do because you live in an apartment building, for example, so be it. Which is, you can do this in your dining room, you can do this in your living room. You're not sending anything bad to this person. You are restraining this evil person from doing any evil deeds or creating havoc and disrupting peace and perhaps abusing the weak neighbors that you have. And it is you, the witch of the street, that is going to have to annihilate and finish this person. Now, witches, at the end of your 7 nights, you must bury this far away from you in a place that you never are going to come back. And witches, give it some time. Don't jump into conclusions that is not working right away. Magic works in very mysterious ways. Witches, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you the best. That was pretty easy, witches. This is something that you can do. Now, if you're able to, and if you want to, instead of putting cemetery dirt in the coffin, you can bury this coffin on the cemetery. If you know of a tomb of a soldier or somebody that worked for the law enforcement, then you can bury this doll in there. If you do not have a coffin with mirrors, you can wrap this in aluminum foil with the shiny part looking at the evildoer. And you can get that bundle and you can bury this in the cemetery in the tomb of a soldier. This is something that you can do. Please remember to leave offerings and do this with a lot of respect. Last, witches, if you do not want to use anything that has to do with the cemetery, because I know many of you guys are very squirmish when it comes to being in the cemetery, go to the cemetery. Trust me, I know. You can use Saint Michael Archangel. This is a little card that I have from Saint Michael, and there's a little prayer in the back. You can use a little card from Saint Michael. You can use a statue of Saint Michael, and you do the same thing. Like, you prepare your box, you can put mirrors on it. If you don't want to go and you don't want to do anything that has to do with the cemetery, then you don't put the cemetery dirt. And then you're going to be using the power of Saint Michael Archangel. I prefer to use the cemetery dirt, but at the end of the day, which is whatever you feel that is going to be more comfortable for you in that sense, because I know that going to the cemeteries to bury anything or to grab cemetery dirt is a little bit of taboo for some people, and some people just really don't like it. But other than that, witches, I really hope that this reaches you at the right moment. Sometimes, witches, it is us. If we know magic, we owe this to our neighbors. We owe this to the good people that live around us. When you're a witch, you have a lot of responsibilities. And I'm not saying to be vigilante, because that's not what I'm saying. But if this is affecting not only you, because you live in the neighborhood, but the people around you, that is also good people. If you have the power to stop it, why can't you? Why not, witches? Why not? Just make sure to leave an offering to the dead that is helping you out. And be at peace, witch. Be at peace. You are actually doing a good deed. You're actually doing a good deed. Thank you so much for being here yet another Monday. Remember to visit my website, WhiteRaven and witcheslayer.com. I have a lot of products in there for your magical endeavors. I have commanding oil, I have some black candles, and coming up soon, I'm going to have some of those little coffins for you to use on your own magical workings. I also have cemetery dirt if you need cemetery dirt, witches. It is always awesome talking to you. I love helping you. I really hope this reaches you in the right moment. Remember that you need to stay very smart, because knowledge is power. You have to educate yourself. Don't just take what I say. Study and research. But above all, with all that knowledge, you have to discern, right? And you need to stay brave and so very wicked, witches. Bye.